Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second special edition of Coffee with KCL. It's nice to see some familiar names here today. We appreciate you joining us. For those that are tuning in for the first time, KCL is the leader in food service design technology. Now in our 35th year, we've gone through ushering in CAD into the industry, Revit into the industry, and continue to lead the way with tools like KCL Napkin Sketch that lets users create high quality designs without running any CAD program. We have some more exciting news coming in a few weeks we'll be sharing. If you want to stay in touch by joining our newsletter at tinyurl.com/join KCL news, we'll put that link in the chat as well. So today I'd like to introduce our special guest, Kristine Holtz, CEO of Cornerstone Foodservice Group. She has more than 25 years of experience in the food service industry and has helped develop leading products and solutions across many areas of food service. Today, Kristine works alongside and advises leading brands on their food service operations, and she shares industry insights to help organizations create guest-centered and profitable dining experiences. We're happy to have Spring USA and Astra as clients with their information in KCL. So we want to welcome Kristine. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for such a nice introduction. I appreciate it very much. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. So we're going to get started with just some general ideas today. And we'll start with, why don't you describe a little bit about Cornerstone Foodservice Group, who you focus on, and how that relates to food service design, as KCL and our audience is design-centric. Let's give us a little bit of background.
Sure. I think the name Cornerstone Foodservice Group is not as well known as the brands it represents, and there are three. And what binds the brands together is that they're really known for quality, innovation, and providing customer solutions. In fact, we work very closely with the design community and their clients, and many of our products have been developed alongside of both those designers and the clients. There's three brands. The first one is Lloyd Pans, which is a U.S. manufacturer of premium commercial pizza pans, baking equipment, and tools. Lloyd, you mentioned Astra Manufacturing, which is commercial espresso equipment, steamers, and grinders, also produced here in the United States in Spokane, Washington. And then I think we'll be focusing mostly on Spring USA today, which is the one of the innovators in induction cooking, now cooling as well, buffetware, and custom banquet furniture.
Well, that's definitely some really cool stuff. I really like looking at the espresso machines. Those, I didn't realize those were made in the States. So that's cool to know. I did not know that.
That's not common, as you know. Most of them are European.
Exactly.
And we like to say we took the good things from Europe and added some American ingenuity to make them even better.
Nice. Well, again, something new learned today. So as Spring is a leader in buffet solutions, you know, your opinion, you're seeing a lot with COVID. Are they dead? What's going on? Give us a little info.
That's a good question. A lot of people have asked me whether buffets are dead. And they've certainly been on pause with COVID, no question. But I think, and we're advising a broad number of clients in many segments. So let me pause and say that includes hotels, healthcare, casinos, cruise lines, stadiums and other entertainment venues, business and industry, colleges and universities. And, you know, all of these types of organizations need to feed large groups of people. And I think we are hearing resounding voice that as people are designing for the future, they're still designing communal or buffet dining. And it's really, there's no better, more efficient and cost-effective way to feed people. So the future says buffets are coming back. And I will say, we've even started to see some clients, and I think we're still sort of in the heat of this COVID environment, start to produce what we call adaptive buffets, really adding things into their service today that allow them to get back to service for their clients and meet those new guest expectations.
Okay, well, so what are you hearing from the end users, clients saying, what are the guests expecting? I mean, I know the obvious is they want to be safe and comfortable, but what are you seeing?
Right, right. Well, I always say, if you watch the news, there's a wide range of feelings and fears and
Yep.
comfort levels with clients. But it's interesting. We did a survey of 100 common buffet users. So people that in the last year have gone to buffet service. And this was in June, so still pretty early. And what we found was 76% of those people said they would still go to a buffet style dining if some safety measure had been put in place. And what we think this is really driven by, as you dug a little deeper, two things. One is people are starting to become more educated that the food itself is not what is making people sick. And that's been, I think, even just reinforced recently by some of the large health organizations. But then secondly, they also told us that they have some trust in food service professionals. So they believe that the pros know how to serve food. And I guess I would say the other thing is that if we know anything from COVID, it's taught us that as humans, we love to eat and we love to gamble. Right?
Yeah. Oh, great. I mean, and going out. I mean, that's the big thing is after months of being inside, going out, and if you're out and you're traveling and there's buffets, you know, if they're doing it right, you're going to be comfortable.
That's right. And your guests need to eat. So if you are traveling, I was just traveling for a baseball tournament. There were, 80 very hungry boys that, the McDonald's drive-through wasn't the best option, we didn't think. So for sure, I think buffets are not dead and they're coming back.
Okay. Well, that's good. And listen, that's important for your product line as well. So that's
Yeah.
a look there. So what about the communal dining? What do you see happening there?
Well, it's interesting. I think maybe some of you would have seen the news, the Wynn Casino, which has a famous buffet that packs in people. They're back to buffet. They're doing it, however, with runners coming to your table, and you have 2 hours of all you can eat, taking your order and bringing it back. We've seen some breakfast buffets that have attendance added. Raiders Stadium just invested in 400 induction ranges for service in their suites.
Wow.
So we're definitely seeing that some of these big clients already start to go there. As we think about the design for the future, because I know this is a lot of the design community, how does COVID still affect us? We've started to say, is that going to affect us 2 years from now? Will that be gone? And I certainly hope that COVID will be a memory 2 years from now. But I think we think about the fact that it's going to have a lasting mark on how customers think, how our guests think. Think of the Depression. We always say, oh, it's a Depression era person. They've been frugal for the rest of their life. So we think people are going to think about dining with this event in the back of their mind for a long time to come. And we really think there's 3 cornerstones, no pun intended, that you have to think about. First is food safety. That's not new. All of you know how to design a buffet or a space for food safety. It's the same as it always was. The second is employee and guest safety. So you have to think a little bit more about that. But then lastly, really guest perceptions. And that's not only making sure they're safe, but that they feel safe. One thing we've seen, and this has been kind of funny, is that sneeze guards used to be the necessary evil in our business. And now they're a signal to your guests that it's safe to eat there.
Right. No, completely agree. I mean, I think those topics, the food safety, guest safety, and the perception, right? You walk in, if you feel comfortable, those are really important points there. When we've been talking about this, maybe you can go into a little bit of detail for us about the key trends. I mean, we're design centric, that the people watching this, again, our community, what do you see really happening, and how is this working with the different industries? I mean, it's not just, old country buffet, you have high-end hotels. You mentioned the baseball stadiums. How is this really working across all the different industries that you're involved in?
Yeah. Well, I think the good news is some of the trends that we saw pre-COVID are continuing and becoming even stronger. There's really three key trends that we're calling out. The first one is what we call multi-use spaces. So, long gone are those days when you walk into, let's say, a hotel and the area that the breakfast buffet has been partitioned off or it's darkened. If you think about even a small buffet area of 20 by 30 feet, that's 600 square feet that becomes dead and doesn't do anything for the property forward. So really where that shifted is to functional furniture, or we like to say equipment hiding in plain sight. And, we were the first to introduce a SmartStone system that allows you to put both warming as well as cooling and have tables that look like they're permanent but can be mobile. And that really allows you to create beautiful design, really outstanding design, but still have the ability to flip those spaces around. So you might have something that's a breakfast buffet or a cocktail party, but then later becomes guest lounge spaces, meeting space, or even extra restaurant seating. Little Caesars Arena invested in 4 of these types of tables, and they have both hot and cold functionality, and that allows them to even move them into different spaces in the arena. And it's really just about that flexibility and being able to use all parts of the facility for different numbers of guests. And think about how COVID may adjust that. Smaller guests, people you have to disperse through the stadium or event space. Different types of events, different day parts, different trends that we may not even know. That's building in functionality and flexibility. We see a lot of that. That's 80% of what we're doing as we're thinking about design with our clients.
That's really cool. I mean, I've seen the integration of your equipment into the furniture means it's not something, as you said, it's not dedicated that you can only use it there. It's a tabletop. I mean, when it's not plugged in, when it's not running, it's not going to be hot, it's not going to be cold. It's a surface that you want to just have your meeting, you're there, so you're able to reuse it, which again, I think that's great, and that integration is really important.
That's right.
But, what about when you don't have those bigger spaces, right? What kind of options do you have to maximize the food service is really what it's all about.
Sure.
In those kinds, everyone's about making money, and it's like, okay, well, I don't have that large space. And so what can I do to set this up?
Sure. Well, one thing I'll say is if you can dream it, we can build it. We like to say that. So we've even done some things that can slide into cabinets or cupboards. But one thing we're seeing a lot of is what I would call the pop-up event or pop-up experience. And this marries not only perhaps smaller spaces where you can put something for a single event, but also can create some real theater for guests. And that has been both positive for the guest experience and can be very revenue profitable for our clients. Let me give you an example, a couple examples. With Astra Manufacturing, we've been doing some coffee carts, and these can be tucked away in a smaller space. They can be moved into a VIP suite or a meeting event. Those are great, and specialty coffee is on the rise, as you know, Kevin.
Sure. People love coffee.
In fact, I can't believe we don't have our coffee cups with us. Perhaps you do. But secondly, we just did for opening day, that never was, but we hope will be in the future for the White Sox. We did a ice cream cart, which allowed for their VIP area to do sort of a Cold Stone creamery concept with mix-ins and creating some really fun events around ice cream. And then another example I'll show you is, and this is again completely mobile and can work in smaller, large spaces. Sodexo, who runs USAA, created some different carts that can be tucked away. One's a wok sort of Pan-Asian station, one's a taco bar, and one's a sushi bar. So a lot that can be done in that area.
Well, the idea you mentioned, I'm going to say there's 2 points. One was theater. With right now, I just walked into a restaurant to pick up dinner the other night, and the tables were so far apart. Well, now that actually allows for people to take a custom mobile setup to go around the restaurant. So I think that's a great idea. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, you just mentioned the Chicago White Sox. Sports fans out there, first no-hitter of the year by the Chicago White Sox. Right?
Yeah,
It's
a lot
really
of
cool.
celebration in my household. That's right.
So that was very exciting for Chicago fans. But when they do have these mobile units, you have to worry about, what about safety and sanitation? How do you take care of that? How do you handle that? Because you're not in the fixed setup where everyone is proper code.
Sure, sure. Well, first of all, these are easily adaptable to have both covered vessels. And of course, you're keeping the hot food hot, cold food hot, cold. And then we have created a line of mobile sneeze guards too. And even if you're designing for the future, to design in that mobility, that those can be moved around and moved to different spaces. Those are certainly picking up, as are those mobile stations.
Well, that's good that you're able to keep that into account and make sure that everyone's going to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. I just lost my place there for a second. I just wanted to check on one other thing here is that, how can people and where can they get more information about the Spring USA products? I mean, you offer a lot of custom solutions. So,
We do.
Website might not do the trick, but what's the best way to get more information?
Yeah. Well, if you get in touch with us, Kevin, either through our website or just giving us a call, we'll put you in touch with our experts. And they can quickly help you know what options are available, but also just listen to really what you're trying to accomplish and come back with some solutions. I should mention our custom mill shop is here in the United States too. Those are made in the Midwest and really allows us to do between the metal fabrication and mill shop almost anything. I should mention one of the things that's really growing also, Kevin, is the mobile cooking stations that have a ventless downdraft system. And
that's huge. Yeah.
Ventless all over. And as you know, it's not only really good for the guest experience. You could cook a stir fry in a small room and have no grease or odors and no need to either vent or have a hood system. So we have those two. Look for those on the website. And really, if we're providing a lot of content right now, I will tell you that. So as you sign up on our website, and you'll get a lot of our information, white papers, information about new product innovation. We have some very exciting things coming down the pike. I can't tell you about them now, but hopefully you'll have me back so I can tell you about some of those new things. And then you can even follow us on social media for any of the brands.
Well, that's great. And again, as you develop these new products, I'm going to have our little plug for KCL as we hope to get those products in there. We can include that additional information so that if there is a new product, we can have links to the white papers for those that use KCL. You'll see them in the doc links. We have Spring USA Astra. We can have the manuals in there as well for people out in the field that need more information. But no, thank you for giving us this overview and the time this morning. We appreciate it. We know that Spring has been around a long time. We've been working with, and I'm really excited to learn that new bit of information about Astra, that you are made in the USA, which I did not know that. So again, thank you for your time today. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will have, we'll send out our emails and social media posts for next month. We're going to do a talk about Energy Star. Again, kclcad.com for our website, the tinyurl.com. I got to find that link because it's new, /join KCL News. Get on our email newsletter. Any other closing comments, Kristine? Again, we appreciate you joining us and working with KCL today.
Yeah, well, Kevin, I just want to thank you for the partnership. As I told you, your organization provides a great service in our industry. We are proud to partner with you, and thank you, everybody, for joining us. Good to be with you.
Great. We appreciate.
Oh, wait, we do have.
Go ahead, Kim.
We do have a Q&A question. What is SmartStone? And can you tell us more about what that is? And anyone else, I just want to invite them. We do have another minute or two. So if people want to submit questions via chat or want to raise their hand or unmute themselves after Kristine answers this, we're happy to take a minute to do that.
Yep. SmartStone is a composite product that is designed to conduct heating and warming and cooling that we developed and brought to the market, gosh, over a decade ago, and perhaps longer. It's an NSF surface that really looks like stone, and we can do everything from a surface that looks like marble or really any of the beautiful stones. They have a wide selection. It's lightweight, it's durable, and is specially designed to work with our equipment to maximize both the look and design and the performance of the equipment over long term.
I also want to let people know we will be summarizing this on our website in the next few weeks. So we will have some links and some images to help enhance what Kristine just explained to us.
Great, thank you. And I think if you hit our website, we'll have a page you can land on to see some of the photos of some of the examples I've talked about. As they say, a photo is 1,000 words, right?
Right.
Yep. And your equipment looks really nice. I mean, it's some beautiful stuff. So those high-end places that are looking for, you know, the finishes to go with the interior design, the matchup, great product to work with.
Thank you. As I said, we're lucky to have so many talented designers and consultants work with us. So I have to give credit where it's due. Much of our look and feel has been driven by the design community and the feedback they give us. So thank you for that. We have great partners out there.
And one more question. When designing in enclosed spaces, what about gases or ventilation? I know you touched on some of this, but can you go into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So we have a downdraft system that we use, and I'd invite you to take a look at, which really removes all of the grease-laden particulates, odors, and vapors. It's easy to take care of. It's easy to exchange the filters. I think that one of the main filter can go in the dishwasher. Really easy to use, inexpensive, really, and is great for cooking or really cooking on a mobile cooking station anywhere you want to go.
Great, thank you.
I should mention, look at our website too. We've also just launched a Volt, which allows you to power some of the equipment with a small portable battery. And that's kind of exciting if you're designing for some mobility into spaces, whether it be outdoor or just where to allow your clients to perhaps use some spaces without as much power.
Very cool. Truly.
Yeah, it's a nice looking battery too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. I think that's it. Speak up now if you have a question. This is your last chance. Anybody? Okay. Well, I think we learned a lot today. Kevin, you want to take us out?
Well, again, thanks for joining us for Coffee with KCL. We learned some new information today about Cornerstone. At least I did. I hope some of you did as well. You'll be able to follow up on our blog page with any questions, and we look forward to seeing you next month when we have another Coffee with KCL, and we'll be working with the Energy Star Group at that time. Thank you again for joining us. Everyone have a good day and stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.